Yeah, so this is us. So welcome to the Galapagos Island Explorer for Women. Woo! So this is the last group. That's the group that I had there just this last November. And that's one of the giant tortoises that we get to see. They are absolutely enormous. Okay, so, oops, it's not changing. Please hold. There. Did it change?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
fabulous. So a little about Green Adventures. Our mission is to help people, you, fall in love with wild places through extraordinary eco-adventures and to protect people, places, and the ecosystem through ecotourism. So, of course, one of our big goals is to educate you while you are there so you understand the importance of the places and to um, provide support and resources for the places that we are actually going to help protect them and to keep their economies running. So where do we take you? Well, some of you already know. You could probably tell me. So Alaska, Florida, Idaho, Yellowstone, Wisconsin, Hawaii, Roatan, Honduras, Baja, Mexico, Costa Rica, Galapagos, Iceland, Tanzania, Uganda, Vancouver, Canada, Trinidad and Tobago, and Peru. And there will be more. So get ready to have a lot of fun. Oh, by the way, I'm Kristen Haas. So I am a trip leader for Green Adventures, and I take people to Alaska, Baja, Roatan, and Galapagos currently. I'm hoping to do more. So how do we do it? Well, of course, the whole point is it started with a dream and a love for adventure. And we do it by building longstanding relationships with local partners. So this is really important, again, to help to support the area that we're going, working with local partners. Everywhere we are greeted by locals, which is also very nice. It's definitely designed for active eco-conscious explorers, but on the Galapagos trip, you don't have to be overly active, which I kind of like the slow mosey pace of the thing. It's beginner friendly with, and of course, we are experts in our field, so we're always there to support you, help you learn what it is you need to learn to make sure that you can make the most of your trip. Did somebody have a question? No? Okay. Adventures in wild, off the beaten path places, as you well know from the adventures you've been on, and every trip supports local conservation efforts. So why do we do it? Because we're all very passionate about what it is we do. As I'm sure you know from the leaders that you've been on trips with, they're extremely passionate about the places that they're taking you. We're passionate about sharing our love of the outdoors and nature with you. And I am extremely passionate, especially about educating you because that's what I do as a profession. So I want to get people really understanding the world around them as well as having a really good time doing it. So we are inspired by your curiosity, courage, and love for discovery. And one of my favorite parts of these trips is watching that grow over time and watching people get really excited about what it is that we're doing and seeing and experiencing. So we believe shared experiences in nature create connections, memories, and a drive to protect our planet. So, as you know, you can travel solo, but never alone. You'll always have adventure buddies with you along the way. We guide you every step of the way with packing list, entry requirements, and travel tips. Connect with your adventure buddies before you go. We will have a photo circle available right off the bat. And what I like to do with that is have you guys put your pictures in there and label it so we can start getting to know each other before we even get on the trip. Our team welcomes you upon arrival and supports you 24/7. We're here for you, illness, accidents, and all. You'll be supported from takeoff to farewell. So, welcome to the Galapagos Islands. The journey. Expect the unexpected. So this is our, when you arrive into Galapagos from Quito, this is the port that you go to. It's called Baltra. And there are animals everywhere. The biodiversity of Ecuador and the Galapagos is insane. And that is why it is basically the birthplace of the theory of evolution. So planes, trains, automobiles, and a lot of boats. I think we should have a game where we count the number of boats that we're on, etc., as we're traveling around to to see how many we could actually count, because I think we lost count the last trip. So anyways, the first thing we do is we travel to Quito through airport. Somebody will meet you at the airport. We have a tour guide there that we work with that meets you at the airport, and then they will help you get into your taxi or the bus, whatever transport they're going to use to get you to the hotel, and then you'll get to the hotel where I will meet you. There, of course, in Quito, it is a cultural extravaganza at the center of the earth, literally the center of the earth. And we're going to go to the center of the earth where you can put one foot on one side and one foot on the other side, and you'll be straddling the equator, which is super fun. From that, we'll fly to the Galapagos and go to Santa Cruz and take a boat to Isabela. We'll snorkeling. The next day, we'll snorkel at La Concha. So we're going to do a snorkel checkout, make sure everybody's really comfortable with snorkeling, comfortable with your gear, and you know, help if you're nervous about anything, we're going to help you through all that. All right. And then we take you to a really nice, calm, enclosed area that has a ton of wildlife. And you'll probably be greeted by sea lions on your way down the steps, and they may even be sitting next to you while you're putting on your snorkel gear to get in the water. It's really cool place. And then later on, we're going to go to Tintoreras on a wildlife tour. Next day, we go on a lava tunnels walk, snorkeling with marine life as well. We'll also go to the Charles Darwin Station, see a bunch of different tortoises that they have here, different species, etc. And then we'll see a bunch of island wildlife as well. Next day, we go to Las Grietas and go swimming. And you can bring your snorkel gear. It's a really cool, like, crack in the ground, and there are fish that get in there. So it's a really neat, it's fresh water, but there's salt water that gets in. So you get saltwater fishes in there as well as some freshwater ones, which is kind of cool. And then we're going to explore Santa Cruz, and we'll see a place where they actually create salt on the way to Las Grietas, which is really neat. We'll also go to a tortoise sanctuary where we get some awesome cooking classes, and we get to cook using the natural foods that are available on the island, like coconuts and fish and stuff like that. And it's wonderful. And we'll explore some more lava tunnels, go to North Seymour Island, and go bird watching and snorkeling. Tortuga Bay, guess what's there? Turtles, lots and lots of turtles, but in the water this time. So there's also marine iguanas everywhere. And there is a kayaking option, which is super cool. And there's also, there were a lot of octopus in Tortuga Bay, which was really fun to find. Yeah. And there's like a little place to snorkel, like a little cove to snorkel in. And then there's a bigger area you can snorkel further out to find turtles and octopi and reef sharks and stuff like that. So then we'll fly back to Quito, Bujis, and relax at the hotel, have a nice farewell dinner. And then the next day, we'll visit some markets or possibly do something else spur of the moment, and then go to a really nice farm to get some local teas and try some local coffees and stuff like that. And then, of course, off we go. So that's the sad day. So this is the Galapagos Islands, and we're going to go wherever you see the little frog here is where we are going to go, and we're going to explore lots of different parts of these islands. So these like brown areas, can you see where my cursor is? These little brown areas there, those are all volcano calderas. So we will see some volcanoes, we'll see some sinkholes, we'll see some lava tubes, we'll go into some lava tubes, we'll see the wackiest plants you've ever seen in your whole life. And sorry, I lost my place. And all of these animals here, these are all shots from different animals that you'll see above and below the water. We'll see adult animals, we'll see baby animals, we'll see baby animals being made. We'll see it all. It'll be awesome. And of course, we will be put in the shoes of Charles Darwin himself to really see what he saw and understand how he came up with the theory of evolution with his little finches that greet us at the airport. And there's lots of different species of them that we'll see all along the way. which is really cool. And then we will attempt to see the differences in their bill shape, which is the big difference because they look the same, but you have to look at the bill shape and that lets you know that it's different. So what do? We visit 4 different islands in the archipelago, and we've learned how species have adapted to survive in these extreme environments because they really are. It's, for those of you who have been to Baja, you know, it's like desert that plunges into the ocean. Well, that's basically what part of the Galapagos is. It's desert that plunges in the ocean, but it's a weird looking desert. But then as you get up into higher elevations, then it's totally different. It actually looks more like Florida. So we're also going to hike trails through otherworldly habitats, and I'll show you some pictures of all these bullet points in a minute. Snorkel a variety of sites. See giant Galapagos tortoises in their natural habitat. See a bunch of different bird species, both adults and juveniles, which I think is very unique about this particular trip because I went to the Galapagos before I went with Green Adventures, and by far this trip was way better than the one that I was on with National Geographic. So
oh wow.
Yeah, so I really liked this trip better. We saw like everything. We saw it all, which was awesome. And we got to see big rookeries of birds, multiple species in one area. So you could see the adults and you could see all the babies and the eggs and the whole 9 yards. It was really neat. And then when we are in Quito, which is, we start and end in Quito, that's where your flights will fly into. It is a really awesome historic, it has some really awesome historic areas. And so we'll learn about some of the architecture, the culture, the history of the city, some of the local foods that they eat, and the plants that they utilize. It's really neat. And then we'll also visit the Mitad del Mundo, the middle of the world, which is a great place where they do lots of different little science experiments, and they have lots of activities for you to actually experience what it's like to be in the middle of the world on the equator. So if you look here, these ladies here are walking the equatorial line, trying not to fall over. And then the picture in the middle, that's your portal to another world. That's Quito outside the windows of the first room that we stay in when you first arrive there. And it's really cool to watch the clouds come over the mountains and go across the lights, and it really is a beautiful city. And then we do some different tastings, and you see some really awesome architecture. So I really like Quito a lot. And then off we go to the Galapagos, to our 4 beautiful and unique islands. You can see the color contrast here. We've got iguanas all piled up right here. And this is one of the places that we stop to have a drink or have a snack. And this is right down the street from where we're staying. So when you have free time, you can go and hang out too. And we hike and journey to the center of the earth. So this is going down into the lava tubes. And these are big caverns underneath the earth that are created by molten lava that is obviously no longer there because it flowed through and left these really cool caverns behind. So it's pretty neat when you get to walk in the belly of a volcano. And we also go snorkeling, and these are some of the friends that we're going to see when we go snorkeling. And they're not scary, and they won't eat you, I swear. Okay. There was one actually trying to get in here. It may have been this guy. He was trying to get in there to sleep, but he wouldn't go near anybody because he was scared of us. So we had to kind of back out so then he could get in there and go in with all his friends and go to sleep. They're snoozing. That's nap time. And then we're going to see tortoises like this one here in its natural habitat.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's amazing how big these shells are. And this is a really small shell. And we will also see lots and lots of different kinds of birds, frigates, boobies, and more. So these are frigate birds, and that's the male with the red balloon behind, trying to keep the other males away from his girlfriend. And I just love the look on her face, like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
It's just so cool. Yeah, so really, you do get to see like all the different things that they do, all the different behaviors. And then after that, we're back in Ecuador, and we can look for these beautiful birds. It really is incredible. So what should you suspect? Well, how we get around, we use a lot of vehicles. We are going to be on so many little boats. It's going to be awesome. So if you do go, make sure you bring your Dramamine if you get motion sick. I'm constantly on Dramamine when I'm there. But the seas are relatively calm for the most part, which is really nice. And the boats are comfortable. And they're just a lot of fun. And the captains are all great. The temperature, it's only the water's actually about 73 degrees Fahrenheit, which if you have a wetsuit on is very comfortable. If you don't have a wetsuit on, it's really not that bad either, because you're snorkeling, so you got the sun shining on your back, warming you up a little bit. So I thought it was very comfortable. I did go one day without a wetsuit. Most of the time I wore a wetsuit just because I didn't feel like being cold at all. And then the air is very pleasant, 70 to 79 degrees Fahrenheit.
Mm-hmm.
And this, you can see what these ladies are wearing. That's pretty much what we wore the whole time. And then we usually bring a layer for the boat or something like that. And that is those are real colors, by the way, from the sunset. So expect the unexpected. Like I said, we're going to have lots of boat rides to lots of different cool places. And we're going to go to beautiful restaurants to have snacks or eat really, really yummy food. None of us were hungry the entire time we were there. We're like, oh God, we've got to eat again. And it was so good. And it was all very healthy, except for maybe the plate at the bottom there. That is a special plate with a funny little doll. That's actually a sweetbread. And the drink is a colada morada. And that is a special meal that they have for the Dia de los Difuntos. No, it's not muertos there. It's difuntos there. But yes, it's the Day of the Dead. They just call it difuntos there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and they celebrate it a little bit differently than in Mexico. They are more. It's more of a somber day.
Oh,
but they're still, they're still celebrating, but it's more of a somber day. And then they get to eat this yummy stuff. So there's that. And then, of course, we have lots of fresh fish, lots of fresh shrimp, rice, plantains, like a coconut milk sauce that they put on a lot of their food, which is super yummy. So as you know, our packing lists are very detailed. If you follow the packing list, you will not be sad. I do have to say, bring extra cameras. If you can, get an underwater camera. Honestly, the GoPro is probably my favorite. It takes the clearest pictures, but I also have an Olympus that I use, like a small handheld Olympus TG Stylus 4 or whatever. And that one's pretty good too, but the GoPro has a clearer picture on it, which I like, and it captures more in the frame. And of course, you want to bring a backpack and a little extra carrying bag for anything shopping you're going to do. And the pants that I'm wearing here, these are zip-off pants. These, if you don't already have them, these are, in my opinion, a must for any Green Adventures tour, because you can wear them as pants. You can put layers under them if you want to, but you can also zip them off so you have shorts on. And then, of course, you want a hat, like she's got in her hand there, sun protection, water bottle, the whole 9 yards. And it doesn't hurt to have a water bottle that has like a life straw filter in it, or a UV light in it. The UV light is supposed to kill like 99.9% of all the stuff that could be in the water. So that's usually what I bring, or I double up. That way I can drink out of the sinks. Yeah. So physical requirements, this one, especially if you've been on the Alaska trip, this one, well, and even some of the hikes on the Iceland trip, I know those two, they've got some pretty decent hikes, especially if you're a flatlander like me in Florida at sea level. When you go up any mountain, it's the most painful thing on earth. But this one is much more chillaxing. Our hike is more of a mosey, and there's plenty of time to explore and relax. So if you don't want to go on one of our adventures, like I'll tell you which ones I really think you don't want to miss and which ones are okay to miss. You know, like you won't have terrible FOMO if you need the time to relax or catch your breath or whatever. So there's plenty of time for both. And our hikes are more of a mosey. They're not, you know, a death march or anything like that. They're relaxed. And so if you are in as good a shape as I am, then it will not be a problem. And most of the snorkeling is, I mean, we move, but we're not like hoofing it from, you know, one island to the other in 5 seconds flat. It's pretty relaxing as well. You're just kind of floating around while the world is going by, and you're going to see such cool stuff. And part of the time when we're snorkeling, we'll be following the guide. Part of the time we'll have like a little time to just kind of float around, do our own thing. And then we'll be there to help gather you and move along as needed. So you do want to be able to kind of walk relatively unassisted for up to 2 miles. You can have like trekking poles or something to stabilize yourself. That's not a problem. And like I said, it's a slow mosey. So it's not like 2 miles with a 3,000-foot elevation change, you know, climbing up rocks and all this other stuff. What you're seeing in this picture behind you or behind the text box, that is all lava, because the island is that's a lava island, and you can see how it's uneven. So you just want to make sure that you have hiking shoes that will support your ankles. And if you need trekking poles or something like that, so you can walk on this kind of uneven ground. Now, some of the ground we walk on is totally flat and it's not a problem at all. This is about the most uneven hike we do. And again, it's really not a hike. It's a mosey. So it's a walk. So, and then of course you want to be able to swim and be comfortable in and around open water. So we have some places like this that are extremely protected. And then, we have some other areas where we plop off a boat and there's an island on one side and it's more open water-esque on the other side, but it's still not like we're throwing you into blue water and all you see is blue all around you. So you just need to be comfortable. And by the time we get to that point, you will have lots of opportunity to snorkel and be very comfortable with it as anyways. And then we also have flotation devices that you can hold on to. So there's so you don't have to miss out if you're a little bit nervous or anything like that. As you know, you'll need a passport valid for 6 months beyond the date of departure. So make sure that it's valid for 6 months beyond the date of departure. All right, that's very important. And then we'll send more information about the any passport or visa changes that are coming up. And it's always a good idea to visit the CDC website for the most current requirements. I don't recall there being any for down there. And if those of you who have traveled like to Tanzania or even Costa Rica, you're probably already covered anyways. So of course, what's not included is round trip airfare, because it varies depending on where you are. Passport, travel insurance, always a good idea. Meals, there's 1 breakfast, 1 lunch, and 1 dinner that are not included. We ask that you bring your about $350 minimum gratuity, and then you may want to bring more in case we have the same guide that we had last time. We just wanted to like lavish him with money. He was awesome. He was awesome. So of course, personal spending money, bottled beverages if you need them, and there's plenty of places to go and buy them, not to worry. And then a wetsuit. If you have your own 3mm wetsuit, it's not a bad idea. And honestly, I think if you had a shorty, one that's just shorts and short sleeve, you would probably be fine in that. You don't need a full wetsuit. I bring a full wetsuit because, one, I like to be more buoyant because wetsuits keep you floating. And then if I'm helping anybody in the water, I like to be extra buoyant just to be safe in case they climb on top of me or something. And I don't want to be cold at all. So there's that. I'm weak. So what is included? All the activities, all the guided activities and equipment. We had an excellent guide in Quito. We had the world's best guide on the planet in the Galapagos. He was so nice to everybody and really concerned about us all having the best time ever. Airfare round trip from Quito to the Galapagos is included. Double occupancy rooms in 3-star hotels, tour leader and a local guide, Galapagos entrance fee, and the tourist transit card. Those are included as well. Most meals, purified drinking water, and 24/7 on-site support provided by yours truly. And then, of course, those that are back here monitoring what's going on. So, and then, of course, we do have a local representative and a local guide. I have to tell you, this was one of my favorite trips I've been on. Everybody connected so much with each other and then also with the wildlife that's there. This is one of the few places on earth that you can go and you are just one of the things that are there. You're not top of the food chain. You're not like a human being. If anything, we're in their way and they let you know it. They're like, hey, man. When I first went, I was walking down the beach one day and there was a big marine iguana coming right at me. He was just tootling down the beach, but we happened to be on the same path. And he gets to me and he stops and he looks at me. He's like, are you gonna get out of my way? So I stepped to the side and he just kept on trucking. It's really funny being just one of the living things on the island. This last trip, we got so lucky. We were walking, and there was a baby sea lion that was like tucked between 2 rocks while his mom was out in the ocean playing or whatever she was doing. And he saw us and we're standing there. And I mean, baby, brand new baby.
Mm-hmm.
He was still all head wobbly and body wobbly and everything. And he came over to us and he was like looking at us. He's like, talking to us. And then he went from person to person. And oh my God, we sounded like a bunch of little girls. It was ridiculous. It was the cutest thing we'd ever seen. It was so cool. And you're able to connect with wildlife. You're really, I mean, it's cool when you can go and pet a whale or when you can play with the sea lions, in Baja or see the wolves in Yellowstone, all that stuff. But the level of actual connection that you get in the Galapagos is, in my opinion, beyond compare. It's just really cool. It's just really cool. And I just love not being that scary human, just walking amongst everything like you belong. And it just doesn't care. It's just the coolest thing ever. And then our guide, he was so like kind of nurturing to the group, which was awesome. He knew a ton. I mean, it's definitely his passion. He's a naturalist and a certified trained naturalist for the Galapagos National Park. And the connections that we made with him and just as the group on the Galapagos, the day we left Galapagos proper, there were just tears everywhere. I had never seen a group of women actually cry when leaving a place before. And the majority of us were like, which tells you a lot about like how the connections really were, right? It was like super special, super special. So, yeah. So I hope you come. And do any of you have any questions about anything?
What's the minimum number of people that can go?
I'll be able
I think it's 8
to 12
or 9. No, I think it's 8 or
16.
9.
16 is the max.
The max. What's the minimum though?
8 is
8.
what I have here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I recall from last
and we
time.
have 2 so far. We have 2 signed up. So to confirm the trip to meet our how does Tracy put it, our I guess our quota to run the trip is a minimum of 8. So we need 6 more signups. So yeah.
So get her done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just so you know, I'm a real water baby. So I love the water and I will be helping you get comfortable with snorkeling and all that other stuff and make sure that you have a really nice time.
And then I'm going to put Tara's email address in the chat. So if you have any questions or if you want to reach out to us or anything, any more specific questions, maybe there's something like really kind of toggle in your mind, just reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to talk or specific details with you. So I'm going to drop that here in the comments.
Will we be able to share this Zoom meeting with others?
Yep.
Yeah,
So
it-
Carrie is going to, after this is recorded and processed, I'm going to get set for print, as they say. And
Mhm.
then everybody who has registered will get a copy of this.
Okay.
We call it a webinar replay. And so everybody's registered will get the first access to this. So you'll have that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and of course, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to email Tara. If you want to ask me something specific, you can email me as well. So you want to put my email in there?
Sure.
But you guys are old hats at this anyways. You know how it's done with Green Adventures, so it's gonna
It's
be
the
like
best.
that, right?
It's the best.
Yes, it really is.
Well, I'm very interested actually, but I'm headed next month to Roatan. So on that trip.
Excellent. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be on that trip with you.
Seriously, cool.
I'm
All
so
right.
excited.
It's gonna be fun.
I mean, I
So,
feel
but I
bad
just
for
thought-
Kelly, but because she hurt herself, so I
Oh.
get to go. But I don't
She
feel bad
hurt
for me.
herself.
She did.
What?
She hurt her knee, so she's gonna
Oh, Lord.
have it fixed. Yeah.
Wow, she was on Tanzania
Yeah.
when I went. So anyhow, as a
Well,
participant.
and I'm hoping Lori was signed up for this, so I'm hoping to get Lori to come to this. To come
Cool.
to Galapagos. I know.
Oh,
That's
God.
kind of cool about our tour leaders is they're kind of interchangeable. You could pluck almost any one of them and insert them in another tour, and they're just
Mhm.
gonna fit in. They just know exactly what to get excited about and what to show you on any
Cool.
tour. So I thought that's kind of pretty cool. You know, they just
Yeah.
switch around like that when they need to and help each other out, and we're all pretty connected. And I haven't met half of them, so
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful time of year to be there. I mean, the weather is spectacular, and
Mhm.
with all the birds courting and having babies and everything in different stages, it's really neat to be able to see all of that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has
All
been
right.
very informative, interesting.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
Good. You're welcome, Sandy. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sally, you have any questions?
No questions. Great info. Thanks.
All right, you're welcome. So I hope I see you guys there. I'll see you in Roatan, Sandy.
Yes, ma'am.
It'll be fun.
Cool. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you guys very much. Have a good one.
Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.